All right, welcome back. Fly ball hit to right field, down the line. Michael Rodriguez sprinting after it, and it lands 4 rows into the seats down the right field line. Thank you so much for sticking with us through our technical difficulties here on the CatEye Radio Network. We lost the entirety of the internet here in the press box. We are now working off of a hotspot. We're here in the top of the 5th. The Wildcats trail the UAPB Golden Lions 3-2 now after getting 2 runs on 3 hits. They did strand 3 back in the 4th and chased their starter, Rylan Moore, and Tanner Bocabello still on the hill for the Cats. That's a ground ball up the middle. Eric Almonte with the field and fire from behind the bag, and the scoop by Fernandez is out of his glove, and that's the 2nd infield single for UAPB. Nick Hockemeyer had one back in the last inning, came around to score on a nice pick by Martinez, and it was a bad throw to first. Now, same thing happens here. It was a nice scoop by Almonte behind the second base bag, but a bad throw to first. 1 on, 1 out here in the 5th. Aaron Grant continues to haunt the Wildcats. He was so good on Wednesday. And he's been really good this tournament, the SWAC Freshman of the Year. Here's the first baseman, Lazaro Alvarado. Alvarado walked in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd. 3-2 UAPB. Tanner Bocabello deals. Ground ball right back to him, but off his glove. It goes to Poyeto. He throws to first in time. That could have been a double play if Bocabello had stuck it. But it's only an out, the 2nd out of the inning, that moves Aaron Grant to 2nd.
Left fielder number 28, Nick Hockemeyer.
Now Nick Hockemeyer with 2 away. Hockemeyer has been on base both times, had an RBI walk in the 1st, and singled and scored on the infield in the 4th. Fastball outside, ball 1. There's been a very, very narrow outside corner to both sides of the plate with this home plate umpire today. Pine Bluff runner on 2nd, 2 out, top 5. Fastball, that one called a strike on the outside corner. 1-1. Tanner Bocabello got to be reaching towards the end of his appearance. Almost 70 pitches now. This next one will be his 70th. And it's a ground ball back up the middle. Slow roller. Almonte fields behind the bag. That time, a much better throw to first to retire this side. No runs. 1 hit, 1 left for the Golden Lions. We go to the bottom of the 5th. The Wildcats will try to continue their offensive momentum and try and come back down 3-2 here on the CatEye Radio Network.
With a run score lead, 3-2.
We go to the bottom of the 5th. here in Birmingham. Top of the order, Darrell Lee for the Wildcats. They trail the UAPB Golden Lions in a do-or-die game here, 3-2 here in the 5th. The Wildcats did get back in the game, 2 runs, 3 hits in the 4th. They did strand the bases loaded, though. They did chase the starter, Rylan Morin. Emerson Lott threw 3 pitches to get out of that last half inning. First pitch, slider in on the hand, strike 1 to Darrell Lee. Leo for 2-2 groundouts, 1 to short, 1 to second, not helping that .298 batting average for D. Lee. Corners in, but expecting potentially a push bunt for Lee. He swings away at a curveball that ends up hitting the top of the plate, and he's down 0-2. I never got to Emerson Lott because of the technical difficulties we've been having here at the stadium, so apologize for that. Lott on the year, a .352 ERA, 2-0, 23 innings pitched, 19 appearances. As his 0-2 to Lee is a fly ball foul, third base side. And it's still 0-2. So on paper, the best arm they got left out of the bullpen that is readily available. Long hold for Lott. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That was almost at the shoe tops of Darrell Lee, and he still swung at it. Emerson Lott's got this wicked arm side run on his curveball, and it completely crossed up Lee. 3rd strikeout of the game for UAPB, first for Lott. Here's the rest of his numbers as Martinez comes up. 23 innings pitched for Lott on the year. First pitch to Andre, swing and a miss, slider away. He's given up 13 runs on 22 hits, 9 earned, striking out 12 and walking 15. He's allowed 3 doubles, 3 homers with an opponent batting average of .262. And he is coming in to try and stabilize for UAPB and keep them in the lead here, 3-2 in the 5th. Martinez pops it up on the infield. Drifting into foul territory behind the plate, the first baseman, Alvarado, runs all the way in to make the catch, 2 down. The worst thing the Wildcats could do here is go quietly and give the momentum back to UAPB. Michael Rodriguez has been on base twice, a single, a hit by pitch, and scored the first run for the Wildcats. Came in on the Eric Almonte single. 2 outs, nobody on here. In the bottom of the 5th, first pitch, fastball strike, inside corner to Rodriguez. This is Emerson Lott's 2nd season in the UAPB system under this coaching staff. Had a .692 ERA in 29 appearances last year as a junior. Now he's a senior. Fastball up and away to the lefty Rodriguez, and it's 1-1. But going off of Emerson Lott's pitch totals and innings pitched, as here's the 1-1. Check swing, ball in the dirt, and Rodriguez did not go around. 2 balls, 1 strike. He's not a eating eater type guy. He's going to give you 1 or 2 great innings. So the Wildcats got to weather the storm and try and knock him out. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. Rodriguez expecting fastball way ahead of the curve, and it's 2-2. He pitched an inning and a third in the 16-9 win for BCU back in Florida on the 1st of April. By the 1st of May, my apologies. Rodriguez, a little puncher to the first base bag. Alvarado takes it to the bag himself, and that's the end of the inning. That's a tough one for the Wildcats. They go 1, 2, 3 on just 11 pitches for Emerson Lott, and we go to the 6th. 3-2 UAPB here on the CatEye Radio Network. It's getting late for the Wildcats of Bethune-Cookman as they try to keep their season alive here against Arkansas Pine Bluff. We go to the 6th, UAPB 3, Bethune-Cookman 2. Thank you for hanging with us through all of our technical issues here on the CatEye Radio Network. Zion Hamilton lined into a double play in the first. That ended that inning when Strand of the base is loaded. First pitch to him is a line drive up the middle and caught by Jeter Poyeto again. Oh, it's a carbon copy of the one he hit last time. How about that? He hit that about 100 off the bat, but it was straight at Jeter. Talk about history repeating itself. My goodness. Now the catcher, Vinny Sawmell, he's only seen 3 pitches in this game. Squares to bunt, pulls it back, strike one. Fastball. Sawmell took the first pitch he saw on a ground ball to short his first time up, and then had a bunt single back in the 4th. The 0-1. Ground ball, foul outside of third, jammed him up on the inside with another fastball to Bocabello, who's up over 70 pitches now, 5 1/3. He's trying to gut his way through this, potentially his last appearance in a college uniform. As for 17 other Wildcats, 18 seniors on this squad. 6 of them in the starting lineup today. Bocabello's 0-2 pitch to Sawmell, the catcher. After a long hold, he'll deal. Fastball upstairs. Try to get the swing and miss. Nothing doing there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Winner of this game will come back and play at 3 o'clock this afternoon against Alabama State. Fastball down and in, 2-2. And the winner of this game is going to have to beat Alabama State twice to get to the championship game. They'd have to beat them this afternoon and then again tomorrow morning, with the championship game slated to be played tomorrow night. Sawmell tips it back to the screen, stays alive at 2-2. Once again, 2-2. Ground ball up the middle. Eric Almonte fields and fires. That's out number 2. It's a slow grounder to the left side of the mound, and Almonte deals with it inside the bag at second. And now Connor Gidley, who picked up an RBI his last time up with a squeeze bunt, also struck out in the second, so he's technically 0 for 2, but does have an RBI. Has the game-winning RBI right now, as he scored Zion Hamilton to make it 3 back in the 4th. Wildcats put up 2 in the bottom of that inning, make it 3-2. First pitch, slider, strike 1. Wildcats are going to have to hit their way out of this mess. But first, they got to get off the field. Line drive right to Poyeto again. He does a little bunny hop and makes the catch. Jeter Poyeto has 3 line drive catches. 1, 2, 3 in the inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Wildcats need offense as they trail 3-2 here on the CatEye Radio Network. Here's Michael Lucena to lead it off here in the bottom of the sixth for the Wildcats. They trail the UAPB Golden Lions 3-2. Emerson Lott still on the mound for UAPB. Michael Lucena has not had a good tournament at the plate. He's had a terrific one behind the plate defensively. First pitch to him is in the dirt, ball one on a breaking ball. But Lucena is just 1 for 10. Had a single in the third inning yesterday against Grambling, and that's it. Has a ball low and inside, another breaking ball from Lott, 2-0 on Lucena. Lucena had 24 walks to 21 Ks in the regular season, so the fact that he hasn't taken a walk yet or been hit by a pitch, well, he got hit by a pitch right there. Wow. What? Okay. That's one of those weird things. You say something as a broadcaster, and then you immediately are vindicated. Leadoff man aboard for the Wildcats as Michael Lucena got hit by a pitch. Here's Jose Fernandez. He's 2 for 2. He's had a great tournament. 2 for 2, a run scored today. 2 for 3 against Grambling the last game, and then against UAPB, he was 1 for 3. So 5 hits already in the tournament for the SWAC Player of the Year, Jose Fernandez. First pitch ball inside. He has to jump back out of the way. Vinny Sawmill is going to go out to try and chat with his pitcher, Emerson Lott. You wonder who UAPB has got left in that bullpen. There are some interesting ideas, right? Kenny Fabian threw 95 pitches on Wednesday. It is Saturday. In a very extreme case, you might see him come back. We've already seen Morin. He started today. Then you drop down to James. You'll talk about guys that have pitched the most innings on the staff. James Regan would be next. He has not pitched since the VCU series at the beginning of this month. After the timeout, here's the pitch. Down and away on a breaking ball to Fernandez. Ball 2. Jalen Porter's already pitched twice this tournament, been very good. Jordan Medellin threw a lot yesterday. 5 1/3 innings, 78 pitches. We are probably not going to see him. He threw last night. The 2-0. Breaking ball down. 3-0 on Lucena. Jack Haston is someone we saw multiple times for the Golden Lions against the Wildcats in their regular season series. We shall see, but first you got to chase Emerson Lott, who's behind the Jose Fernandez. 3 balls, no strikes. The pitch. Downstairs, ball 4. Hit by pitch walk, and the Wildcats are in business here in the 6th. 2 on, nobody out. And here is the En Fuego Eric Almonte. He's going to face a new UAPB pitcher as Emerson Lott has run out of gas. And all eyes turn to the center field wall to see who is coming out that door for UAPB. It looks like it might be Jaden Brown, number 32. We'll get official word. I'm looking for official word from the scorers table, 31. So it's going to be, well, they said 31, and there's not a 31 on the UAPB roster. So now we're all confused. It could be 33, that's Nate Lee. 33 is going to be Nate Lee, who's going to be the pitcher for UAPB. I will get you his numbers momentarily.
Pitching for the Golden Lions from the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. It's the junior left-hander, wearing number 33.
Nate Lee is a junior lefty from Delafield, Wisconsin. I told you UAPB gets their players from all over everywhere because of Logan Stout's consistent presence, I should say, through the youth baseball rankings over the last decade or so. He's a hard-throwing lefty. In his warm-up pitches, he's now spiked 2 of them to the plate. Hasn't pitched a ton this season. Here are his full numbers. 1-0, 8 appearances, 1 start for Lee. 13 2/3 innings pitched with a 4.61 ERA. He's given up 8 runs on 16 hits. Striking out 7 and walking 3. He's allowed 1 double, 1 homer with a batting average of .302. He was another one of the guys that was injured for a long time this season for UAPB. This is only his 2nd appearance back. He pitched over the weekend against Jackson State, which was his first appearance since April 3rd. He threw an inning and 2/3 there, gave up 5 runs on 6 hits, and threw 32 pitches. He was flying early in the year. Through his first 7 appearances, he had an ERA of $1.50, just crushing opponents. But then he got hurt, and he came back. This is only his 2nd appearance back from injury, and we said that about another reliever that UAPB used against us on Wednesday, Jalen Porter. And there was pretty much no rust at all against Porter as he shut us down. And now Eric Almonte, 2 on, nobody out. The tying run at second in the form of Michael Lucetta. And they're going to face Nate Lee. Who's on his 2nd appearance back from an injury that has kept him out for over a month. He will square to bunt. Here's the first pitch. The corners creep in. He pulls it back. Ball 1 low. I mentioned that in his warm-up pitches, Nate Lee was dragging a lot of his fastballs low, and he does so on the first pitch to Eric Almonte. Got to be really patient here if you're the Wildcats. You cannot be over-aggressive and give him a free double play. Corners come in again. Almonte squares the bunt, pulls it back, takes a strike on the inside corner with a fastball. Almonte not happy with it. He thought that should have been ball 2. Now it's a 1-1 count. Lucena on second, Jose Fernandez on first after a hit by pitch and a ball that chased Emerson Lott from the ball game. Corners creep in again. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Almonte squares to bunt, turn on a throwback to second. Lucena back there with his feet straddling the bag. Before that ball really even left Lee's hands, the Wildcats aren't getting too big of a lead here. Almonte's job is just to move the runners to second and third. And maybe create some chaos if he can. Still a 1-1 count. Corners come in. He'll square to bunt again. The pitch. It's popped up behind the plate on a bunt into the stands. And now it's a ball and 2 strikes. If you try and bunt with 2 strikes, you are a braver man than I, Eric Almonte. Nate Lee. A double play would be massive here for UAPB. They've already got 1 today to break up a big inning for the Wildcats, potentially in the 3rd. He'll square to bunt again on a 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. Pull it back, swinging a pop-up down the first base line, barely out of the infield, making the catch the second baseman, and everybody stays put. So Eric Almonte with an unproductive at-bat. Tough one there. He tried to do the whole pull the bunt back and slap it over the first baseman's head, but all he did was pop it up.
Second baseman number 2, Jeter Poyeto.
So now the pressure is on Jeter Poyeto. He's 1 for 2. An RBI single that scored Jose Fernandez back in the 4th, and a strikeout in the 2nd. A chance to tie the game with Michael Lucena on second base here. 1 out, bottom 6, Wildcats down 3-2. Swinging a high fly ball, center field and deep. Going back is Gingrich. He can't make the play. It bounces off the base of the wall. Michael Lucena is going to come in to tie the game. Fernandez all the way to 3rd. He is safe under the tag, and the Wildcats have knotted this game at 3. Oh yeah, Jeter Poyeto. The center fielder, Weston Gingrich, was playing in to potentially cut down a play at the plate. The ball sailed over his head and on the fly landed at the base of the wall under the 400 sign in center field, and it's 3-3. And now the Wildcats have second and third, one out. And Chris Watson with a chance to give the maroon and gold the lead. And listen to the dugout and the Wildcat crowd. Timeout called by Coach Stott. Logan Stout is going to call the bullpen again. Nate Lee got 2 batters. He got a pop-up, but then Jeter Poyeto blistered one to the center field wall. And we'll have another pitching change for UAPB. Tough ask for Lee. Only pitched the inning in 2/3 last Saturday, and his first time back from a serious injury, and then you ask him to come in and try and save your season, keep you guys ahead in the 6th. He can't do it, and we're going to have another pitching change for Pine Bluff. Well, no matter how this weekend ends, we'll have a lot to say about it on Hail Wildcats Radio, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of all 15 Wildcat sports programs, hosted by voice of the Wildcats, Michael Cirillo, and featuring the expertise of Bethune-Cookman sports information staff. Hail Wildcats Radio delivers unparalleled coverage of your favorite teams. Tune into 1380 WELE Daytona Beach every Saturday to catch the show live, or listen anytime on your favorite podcast platform. There is no new episode this week because Jade, Bryce, and I are all up here away from the radio station and busy with baseball, so we couldn't record. But no matter how this week ends, we will record an episode for you next week, whether it's to preview a regional run or to wrap up the end of the season. Arkansas Pine Bluff goes to Brendan Hamlin on the mound. I will write him in my scorebook and then tell you that Brendan Hamlin is a senior from Davidson, Michigan, a right-handed pitcher standing 6 feet tall in his second year with UAPB. This season, he's 4-3, 20 appearances, no starts, 1 save, 36 and a third innings pitched. He has a .396 ERA. He's allowed 21 runs on 31 hits, 16 of his 21 earned, striking out 36 and walking just 15. He's allowed 6 doubles, 3 triples, 1 homer with a batting average against of .231. This is the potentially final toss of the dice from Coach Logan Stout. Pitched 3 innings against Bethune-Cookman in their win, 10-6, and he got the dub in that game. Through the last 3 innings, gave up nothing on 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. And here is Chris Watson, 0 for 1, a strikeout looking, and a hit by pitch. Second and third, 1 out, tied at 3. Check swing, no go on a slider away. This is a righty on righty matchup. 1 ball, no strikes. Chris Watson, one of the seniors on this squad, trying to keep his career alive. The runners get their leads. Down the first base line it goes and foul into the netting. 1 ball, 1 strike. All Chris Watson needs to do is put it in the air somewhere, and he'll pick up an RBI from a sac fly. But he wants to do some real damage and gap this one and give the Wildcats a 2-run lead. Jose Fernandez on third. Jeter Poyeto on second after his RBI double tied the game. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Curveball in the dirt. Watson well behind it. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and Coach Derek Cartaya is going to call timeout to talk to his senior. What a year it's been for Chris Watson. Didn't expect to play that much. Called into action because of injuries to the Wildcats outfield. He has batted .339 this year. What a boon to have him in the bottom of the order. But he's coming off of a game where he went 0 for 4 and a tournament where he is just 2 for 10. Conversation over. Watson trudges back to the batter's box. A ball and 2 strikes on him from the third pitcher of the inning for UAPB, Brendan Hamlin. Hamlin from the stretch, the 1-2 pitch. Outside, ground ball up the middle, base hit! That's gonna plate 2 runs! Scoring is Fernandez. Behind him is Poyeto. Chris Watson, the senior, comes through, and it's 5-3, maroon and gold in the 6th. Chris Watson didn't get all of that. In fact, he barely got any of it. It was an outside and low curveball, and he did enough to dribble it up the middle into center field. Oh my goodness.
Number 19, Sergio Rivera.
Still just 1 out in the inning. And now Watson aboard with Rivera at the plate. He's 0 for 2, 2 flyouts to the deep outfield. 1 to left, 1 to center. First pitch, Watson goes, swinging a ground ball towards short. That's going to avoid the double play as it's a ground out. Gidley throws out Rivera. He's now 0 for 3. Rivera's had a tough tournament. But since Chris Watson was stealing, there was no double play available.
Darryl Lee.
And now Darryl Lee with a chance to keep the inning going here with 2 outs. He is 0 for 3. 2 ground outs and a strikeout, Darryl Lee. Chris Watson standing on second, spinning a throw back there. Watson almost slips off the bag, does keep his heel on there. Whew, that was close. Watson wasn't taking that big of a lead, just a little bit of a shimmy step back to the bag, put his left foot on it, and his left foot slipped. He's lucky that he wasn't out right there with the glove pressed on his chest by Gidley. First pitch to D. Lee, the crowd getting behind him. I know his family is here. First pitch, fastball, outside corner, strike 1. Darryl Lee looking for his 2nd hit of the tournament. Ground ball up the middle. Oh, it's grabbed by Gridley behind the second base bag, but he dropped it. He dropped it. They throw to third, and Chris Watson is there, and everybody's safe. A little bit of infield chaos for UAPB. And the Wildcat inning continues. I thought that was an easy play over at first. So they're going to call that an error. They're going to call that an error on Grant, the second baseman. He fielded it behind the second base, then just the second base bag, then lost it in the transition while trying to get Lee at first. Then he threw to third, and everybody was safe. Here's Andre Martinez now. Chris Watson 90 feet away. Martinez trying to extend the inning for the Wildcats and keep this train moving. First pitch to him, down low, ball 1, fastball. Martinez in the game, 1 for 3, single to center, but was thrown out by the right fielder Hamilton trying to go to third on a single by Rodriguez. Then grounded out to short and popped up in foul territory. His last 2 ABs. The pitch. Called a strike, low and inside corner. Wildcats and their fans do not like the call. I was talking with Mitch Davis, college baseball reporter here on the CatEye Network a couple innings ago, and he said he'd love to see ABS be instituted around the country for these conference tournaments, and I bet you we would have used it right there. Anyway, a 1-1 count. Brendan Hamlin comes set from the stretch, the pitch. Swing and a miss. Crossed up Martinez with an inside slider that barely missed his hands. And he is down 1-2. 2 outs in the 6th. The Wildcats have plated 3 runs to take a 5-3 lead over UAPB, trying to extend their season for 1 more game and come back this afternoon and play another one at 3 o'clock. Go back to first. That's a dangerous pickoff with runners at the corners. Alvarado had to reach down to get that one and prevent it from going into the immense foul territory we have here at Rickwood Field. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Andre Martinez in the box. Brandon Hamlin trying to get his team back to the dugout. Here's the pitch. Down low. D. Lee is going to walk to second base and take a steal. So now second and third. He literally walked to second base. He sprinted halfway, realized that the catcher, Vinny Sawmell, was not going to throw the ball his way and just walked to the second base bag. It was one of the odder steals I've ever seen. Anyway, 2-2. Martinez got to put this one in play. Second and third. He gets a piece and fouls it back. It was another breaking ball low in the zone. He will see another 2-2 pitch, Andre Martinez. Martinez has 50-plus career home runs, tied the Wildcat record for home runs in a season last year with 20. He doesn't need one right now. He just needs to put the ball in play in the outfield. The 2-2 pitch. Line drive, base hit, third base side. Watson comes in. Here comes Lee. Throw to the plate is offline and cut off. And the Wildcats take a 7-3 lead. Andre Martinez comes through. A 2-out, 2 RBI single through the left-hand side. 7-3, Bethune-Cookman. And Michael Rodriguez will come to the plate as the 9th batter of the inning. And we'll see another pitching change potentially for UAPB. The clutch hitting that the Wildcats have missed the last 2 days has found itself here in the 6th inning in Birmingham. They now lead 7-3 over UAPB. Logan Stout is not out there. This is pitching coach Brad Powell for the Golden Lions, so I'm not sure they're going to change Brendan Hamlin right now, because you got to ask yourself, who do you have left in the bullpen? The answer is not a ton. Well, Watson comes in to score. Lee comes in to score. I can barely keep up on my scorecard. 5 in the frame for the Wildcats, and Rodriguez is the 9th batter of the inning. Michael Rodriguez has been on base 2 out of 3 times. Single, hit by pitch, and a ground out to first unassisted. Andre Martinez, after his 2 RBI single to left field, stands on first. He squares to bunt, pulls it back, throw down to second. Martinez is stealing, and he's in there as the throw is wide, and Grant has to keep it from going into center field. Stolen base for Andre Martinez. Wildcats are sparing no expense. They want to be as aggressive as possible and strike while the iron is hot here. Brendan Hamlin, the senior from Davidson, Michigan. The 4th pitcher of the inning for UAPB. None of them have been able to get the Wildcats out consistently. That pitch slips out of his hand outside. Ball 1 to Mikey Rodriguez. Correction, ball 2 to Mikey Rodriguez. 2-0. Lucena, Fernandez, Poyeto, and Watson and Lee have all come in to score. Big 2 RBI doubles with 2 outs by both Watson and Lee. It's 7-3 Wildcats. The 2-0 swing and a miss upstairs with a fastball inside to Michael Rodriguez. The Wildcat faithful sitting down the third base line trying to keep the rally going. I heard a "Let's go Mikey" chant from over there. 2 balls, 1 strike. Hamlin winds and fires, swinging a tipper right off the catcher's mask. And it looks like Vinny Sawmell is in a little bit of discomfort as he took that one right off of his body. And it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Brendan Hamlin has a weird windup for someone who comes to the plate very quickly from the stretch. I'll try and describe it for you. He turns his entire back to the plate. I can clearly see the number 25 on his back before whipping his shoulder forward like a corkscrew almost to deliver the pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Vinny Sawmell a little bit shaken up after a foul ball went off of his body somewhere. Looked like it hit his helmet, but it might have deflected down onto his leg as well. Michael Rodriguez stands back in, trying to keep this 5-run 6th going for the Wildcats. Martinez on second, the 2-2 with 2 outs. Ground ball, another one up the middle, another base hit. Andre Martinez gonna try and come to the plate. He's gonna be in there standing up, and the Wildcats lead it 8-3, and BCU will bat around here in the 6th. Stay hot, kid, Mikey Rodriguez. And here is Michael Lucetta, who started this whole inning off by getting hit by a pitch.
Here's the catcher, number 10, Michael Lucetta.
The Wildcats will bat around, and the last couple of singles that they've hit have been up the middle and hard, so the middle infield doesn't have a play. Here is Michael Lucena. Rodriguez on first. He's going to try and steal first pitch. Throw down to second, and he is way out. Oh, my goodness. I don't hate the aggressiveness, but that was a really poor jump for Michael Rodriguez. Looked like he slipped getting out of the, getting away from the bag at first. But 6 runs, 4 hits, 1 error. The Wildcats send 10 to the plate and lead it 8-3 as we go to the 7th here on the CatEye Radio Network. Wow. Well, the Wildcats have woken up here on Saturday morning. 6 runs in the 6th, and they take an 8-3 lead over UAPB. They've still got to close it out. 9 outs to get here in the 7th. It's the designated hitter, Jose Vasquez. First pitch from Tanner Bocabello, breaking ball at the knee, strike 1. Tanner now pitching with a big lead. Let's see how far they can take it. Harvey Abreu threw 110 pitches. Slow ground ball right to Eric Almonte at short. The throw across pulls Fernandez off the bag. It was very high, and Fernandez had to leap to prevent the ball from going into the dugout. And that's an error. First error of the game for the Wildcats. I believe first error of the tournament. I'll double check. No, they made 1 yesterday. But now, top of the order, runner on, and you don't want to give UAPB any momentum at all, because they came back from down 6-0 back at your place earlier this year to win that 3rd game 10-6. So a comeback is not unheard of. There's a line drive, base hit right field. First pitch from Weston Gingrich. Going from first to third is Vasquez. No throw over there, and here we go. Error, single. And now there's runners on the corners with nobody out. How history repeats. The Wildcats were up big yesterday, and then the pitching left the building. First pitch, fastball inside corner, fouled off by Zach Weeder. Weeder scored the first run of the game for UAPB in the 1st. single came in on a bases loaded walk. Other than that, is struck out and grounded out to second. Fastball outside, 1-1 on Weeder. Weeder a chance to pick up a ribby here, 43 on the year for him. A 1-1 pitch from Bocabello. High fly ball center field. Sergio Rivera going back towards the track. He looks up, makes the over-the-shoulder catch. That'll be an RBI. Jose Vasquez comes in from third. Everybody else stays put. And it is now 8-4.
Second baseman, number 42, Aaron Grant.
Now Aaron Grant, 2 for 3, 2 singles. One to center, one a slow roller to the shortstop that he beat out. That one in the air, center field, right at Sergio Rivera, but he's over his head. He's got to run back, and it's over his head. And to the wall, that's going to score a run. Coming in from first is Weston Gingrich. Here's the relay throw. It's going to go to third, and it's 2 runs in the inning for UAPB. Sergio Rivera was playing in, and that ball just went straight over his head, kind of like the Jeter Poyeto double in the last inning, and it's 8-5.
Number 20, Saul Alvarado.
Still just 1 out in the 7th. Tanner Bocabello, 86 pitches. When does Coach Hernandez pull the plug? You've got basically everybody available out there after a day off yesterday because of the rain. When do you pull the plug on Bocabello? He's given you a lot. After giving up 3 early runs, he's settled in, allowed you to come back and take the lead. But now UAPB is starting to tee off, and he's behind 2 balls, no strikes to Lizardo Alvarado. Alvarado 0 for 2 with a walk. Walked back in the first, then struck out and grounded out to the second baseman in the 3rd and 5th, respectively. Here's the 2-0. Fastball caught the corner. 2-1. I know the Wildcats are hesitant to go to the bullpen. You got to play potentially 4 games in 2 days. But if you lose one, your season ends. There's a swing and a miss. Fastball strike. And it's 2-2 on Alvarado. But if you lose any of those 4 games, your season's over. So you've got to be aggressive with your bullpen. And then again, you saw UAPB be aggressive with the bullpen last inning and get nothing out of it. Boca deals in the air, center field. Rivera was not playing in the right position, and it's over his head again into the wall, and that's going to make it 8-6. In from second is Grant, excuse me. Alvarado replaces him, and I think that should be the end for Tanner Bocabello. That's unfortunate. Sergio Rivera was playing pole, and he was all the way down shaded towards the left field side. If he's playing in his natural position, that's probably out number 2, but it's not been good. Tanner Bocabello was allowed hard contact, and 3 runs have already come in, and it is 8-6, where once it was 8-3. The Wildcats cannot get an easy game here at this tournament. Just can't do it. They were up big on Grambling, and then the pitching imploded in the 8th. Now they're up big on UAPB, and Tanner Bocabello hits the end of the line here in the 7th. 91 pitches, 6 runs, 10 hits. Still responsible for the runner on second. Striking out 3, walking 2. And here is Zambrano.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention. In for the starter, Tanner Bocabello. Here's the senior right-hander, goes by JC. None other than Giancarlo Zambrano.
JC Zambrano is going to get the call. He pitched on Wednesday and did very well. Gave up 1 run on 3 hits. And kept the Wildcats in with a chance to win on Wednesday against UAPB. And now he's going to have to try and keep the Wildcats ahead instead of keeping them down by a minuscule amount. Giancarlo Zambrano, the senior from Caracas, Venezuela. Doral Academy High School, Barry University, and now his 2nd year here at Bethune-Cookman. He's got a 2.70 ERA, 1-0, 11 appearances, 2 saves, 23 1/3 innings pitched for the right-hand pitcher. He's allowed 9 runs on 21 hits, 7 earned, striking out 23 and walking 9. He's allowed 5 doubles, no other extra base hits, and a batting average against him, .241. He's thrown 4 wild pitches, hit 3 batters. Technically went 4 innings, gave up 1 run on 4 hits against UAPB on Wednesday. Then against UAPB down in Daytona Beach in the 16-9 win for the Wildcats to start that series. Went 2 1/3, actually picked up the win in that contest. Gave up no runs on 3 hits, struck out 3. 1 out. The tying run coming to the plate in Nick Hockemeyer. He's their best hitter by average, .359. It's been an error by the shortstop, Eric Almonte, then a single, a sac fly RBI, and 2 doubles for 3 runs for UAPB, and it's 8-6, where it was 8-3. First pitch, popped Hockemeyer up on the infield. Jeter Poyeto puts it away for out number 2. And now Zion Hamilton will represent the tying run. Hamilton does have 4 homers on the year and 32 RBI. Also 30 strikeouts, tied for the most on the team with Aaron Grant. J.C. Zambrano takes a deep breath, checks the runner. First pitch is a high fly ball, left field. Darrell Lee tracking it back toward the track. He will make the catch, and that's the end of the inning. The ball came down right between where the support beam is and me, so I couldn't see it. I had to wait for the umpire to make the single, but 3 runs, 3 hits, 1 error, 1 left. And here we go. We go to the bottom of the 7th, 8-6 Wildcats. We've got a game on our hands here on the CatEye Radio Network. To the bottom of the 7th we go. The Wildcats send 9 to the plate in the 6th. 6 cross, but countered by 3 runs on 3 hits and an error in the top of the 7th by UAPB. And we have an 8-6 ball game. The Wildcats on top of the game they must win to come back later today and play another one to try and extend to Championship Sunday. First pitch, breaking ball strike to Michael Lucena. Was hit by a pitch and scored his last time up. Other than that, has grounded out and popped out both to second base. High chopper, softly hit towards short, Gridley across, and that's the first out of the inning. Michael Lucena's had a really tough tournament. He only has 1 hit. He's only been on base twice. The second time of that was in the 6th when he got hit.
First baseman, number 44, Jose Fernandez.
Now Jose Fernandez, who has had a ridiculous tournament. He's been on base all 3 times, 2 for 2 with a walk, 2 runs scored. and an RBI as well. He took a walk his last time up. He was the last batter to face the starter, Rylan Morin. High fly ball left field. Going back is Hockemeyer. He's going to stand under it and make the catch. That looked better off the bat than it ended up being. As one pitch and Jose Fernandez is retired. And the Wildcats once again doing that whole Jekyll and Hyde thing.
Eric Almonte.
What the worst thing you can possibly do in this inning is give a struggling pitching staff life and let the pitcher get away with about a 5-pitch inning, because that's what they're on track for right now. Lucena saw 2, Fernandez saw 1. First pitch to Almonte, fastball outside and low, ball 1. UAPB's got all the momentum right now after they scored 3 runs in the top of the 7th to close to within 8-6. 2 outs, nobody on. Here's the pitch to Almonte, slider inside, ball 2. Almonte switches from the right side to the left side as now there's a righty pitcher on the mound for UAPB. Almonte in the game grounded into a double play with no outs in the second, kind of killed the Wildcats' momentum there, as the 2-ball, no-strike pitch is a pop-up. Drifting into foul territory on the third base side. Weeder is trying to find it. He goes over the dugout wall into the Wildcat dugout and hangs onto the baseball. A tremendous catch. And that's the end of the inning. My goodness. The Wildcats go quickly on just 8 pitches. And that's the end for the Cats in the 7th. UAPB on the comeback trail. Wildcats lead 8-6 as we go to the 8th here on the CatEye Radio Network. Bethune-Cookman with 6 outs to get to continue their season into this afternoon against Alabama State. They are up 8-6 against UAPB as we go to the 8th. The Wildcats went quietly in the bottom of the 7th on just 8 pitches for Brendan Hamlin and giving the momentum all the way back to UAPB, who scored 3 in the 7th and chased the starter Tanner Bocabello. Giancarlo Zambrano on the hill for the Wildcats. His first pitch, strike on the inside corner to Vinny Sawmell. Sawmell 1 for 3, 2 ground outs to short and a bunt single back in the 4th. Off the end of the bat, foul straight back by Sawmell. Barely got a piece of that slider. Zambrano got the last 2 outs of the 7th inning on 2 pitches, a pop-up for Hockemeyer and a fly out to left for Hamilton. And the 0-2 in the air down the left field line. That's going to tail foul to the left of the foul pole. 325 to left, 400 to center 332 to right with very large power alleys, but very wide, but very long right center and left centers. So you don't see a lot of home runs hit out of here, but you do see a lot of doubles and a fair amount of triples. Once again, the 0-2 from JC. Ground ball right up the middle. Zambrano couldn't get his glove on it, and Sawmill has a leadoff single, and UAPB continues their momentum. Now Connor Gidley, 0-for-3.
Connor Gidley.
Strikeout in the second, had a suicide squeeze for an RBI in the fourth, then lined out softly to Jeter Poyeto in the sixth. 1 on, nobody out. Wildcats by 2 in the eighth. Zambrano, first pitch, breaking ball inside, ball 1 to the right-hand hitter, Connor Gidley. Gidley, the junior, batting .324. Wildcats and Golden Lions. Someone's going home right now. That's a hard hit ground ball, but foul on the third base side for Gidley. 1-1. And the Wildcats have their own way. They love Zambrano to just go to the end here and save some arms for this afternoon when they would have come back and face Alabama State. That game scheduled for 3 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock Eastern. But of course, that is contingent on weather and what the game in front of us does. Breaking ball, 12-6 curve for a strike. And it's a ball and 2 strikes on Gidley. Sawmill leads off of first after his leadoff single up the middle. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch, fouled away. Zambrano challenged him with a fastball on the outside corner at the letters. And Gidley barely got a piece of that black bat with gold markings on it. Zambrano asked for a new ball. He'll get it from the home plate umpire. Massive moments here. Wildcats by 2. No outs, runner on first. Top 8. Pitch from JC. Breaking ball in the dirt. 2-2. It's an overcast day. Temperatures after all the rain last night in the high 70s. Down and away, 3-2. JC Zambrano admonishes himself as he misses that one. Full count now on Connor Gidley. Here we go, the pitch. Swinging a line drive, base hit down the third base line. That's going to go all the way to the corner. Sawmill is going to head towards third. Gidley in with a double. And here we go again. JC Zambrano ahead in the count. A ball and 2 strikes. Throws 2 straight balls. Forced to challenge the strike zone, and Gidley makes him pay with a double. And the tying run is on the -1 run, I would say, is on third. The tying run is on second with nobody out. And JC Zambrano is going to be retired from this game. The Wildcat bullpen nearly lost the Wildcats the game when they had a big lead against Grambling State on Thursday. Can the pitching buckle down and get a win to keep their season alive on Saturday? It's going to be a minor miracle to get out of this one with the lead. We'll go to the new pitcher and we'll find out about him when we come back. This is the CatEye Radio Network's production of BCU Baseball. We're back here at Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama. The Wildcats' back is pressed to the ropes and their knees are wobbling. They're up 8-6 over Arkansas Pine Bluff in a winner-go-home game here in the top of the 8th, but our UAPB has used a single and a double to put runners on second and third with nobody out. J.C. Zambrano chased from the game, and here is Pablo Torres, who got the Wildcats out of a similar situation yesterday. Yesterday, he came in with the Wildcats up by 2 with no outs in the 8th and got 3 outs. With runners on base, he is going to be called to do the same thing again. And the DH, Jose Vasquez, been on base 2 out of 3 times. Single on the infield in the 2nd, sac bunt in the 4th, and then a reach on an error, and he scored the first run of the 3-run 7th for UAPB. Here we go. Pablo Torres deals. Just below the knees, ball 1. Against Grambling, 2 innings, no runs, no hits, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk for Pablo Torres. The 1-0. Little flare into left field. That's going to score 2 runs and tie the game. Here comes the throw to the plate. Lee, oh, he barely missed it. It was barely late. Lee got that ball there quick, but Sawmill scores and Gidley scores. And a little flare to shallow left. Jose Vasquez, the freshman, gets a double and ties the game at 8. My goodness.
Center fielder number 9, Weston Gingrich.
Of course, both of those runs charged to J.C. Zambrano, but the Wildcats won't care. It's now 8-8. We have seen comeback after crazy game in this tournament. The Wildcats have been a part of one of them, well, really 2 of them. Bunted behind the plate. Lucena can't find it, and it hits the ground. First pitch to Weston Gingrich. Gingrich, I don't remember what happened to him in the 4th, but other than that, he's 1 for 3 with a, well, he did get out in the 4th because that ended the inning. So he's 1 for 4 with a single and a run scored back in the 7th, also picked up an RBI. Runner on second, still nobody out in the inning. Tied at 8, Torres deals. Swing and a miss, fastball inside corner. 0-2 on Gingrich. The monumental task for Pablo Torres is now keep the game tied. The Wildcats had a chance to add to their lead in the 7th, but went 1-2-3 on less than 10 pitches. Torres is 0-2. Outside and high, no chase, 1-2. Torres, the mostly fastball pitcher, the career Wildcat. All 4 years wearing the maroon and gold. He's 2-2 this year, 5 saves, picked up his 5th one on Thursday, or on Wednesday, Thursday, sorry. The 1-2 pitch. Fouled off the inside of the bat, straight back to the screen. 25 2/3 innings pitched, 11 runs, 21 hits. Walked 16, struck out 29. Allowed 1 double, 1 triple. 4 homers with a batting average against of .228. Once again is 1-2. Again fouled it off, straight back did Gingrich. The last 2 pitches from Pablo have been identical. Fastballs in on the hands. He's really only a 1.5 pitch guy, Pablo Torres. Fastball, cutter, and sometimes he'll throw you a slider, but not very often. Here's a 1-2 again. He threw the slider, and it didn't catch the outside corner. There's been a narrow outside corner from this umpire all day to both sides of the plate. Both coaches have expressed their displeasure with it, as has both sets of fans. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swinging a soft line drive into center field. That's going to give UAPB the lead. Here comes Vasquez and an RBI single for Gingrich. This is unbelievable. Still nobody out. And a mirror image of what happened on Thursday. The Wildcats go to the bullpen, and it just collapses. Yesterday, or Thursday, it was with the walks. They couldn't throw strikes. Today, they can't miss any bats. 4 straight hits, 3 runs, single, double, double, single, and it is 9-8. UAPB collapsing. The Wildcats collapsing again. Another soft flare up the middle. Another base hit for Zach Weeder. 2 on, nobody out. 5 straight hits for Pine Bluff. Oh my goodness. Will the Wildcats be forced to make another pitching change? Still nobody out in the 8th. We did say, as here comes Coach Sanchez, we did say if the Wildcats were to stumble in this tournament, it would be because of the bullpen. That was not really true on Wednesday. Edwin Sanchez had a rough day. But the last 2 games against Grambling, the Wildcats survived, and now against UAPB again, the bullpen has been the issue. Just unbelievable. The Wildcats now down 9-8. They led 8-3. The Wildcats led 8-3 after 6. It is now 9-8 in the 8th. There is no BC without you. Show your support for Bethune-Cookman Athletics by joining the Wildcat Champions Club today. Help us build a championship culture at Bethune-Cookman. Donate and join at bcuathletics.com/Champions Club. Single, double, double, single, single. 5 straight hits here in the 8th inning for UAPB. Nobody out. 3 runs in. 9-8. The Wildcats season, which looked secure 2 innings ago, is now slipping away and vanishing before their eyes. Pablo Torres on the mound. He hasn't been able to stop the bleeding. Spinning a throwback to second. Aaron Grant is at the plate. He's 3 for 4. 2 singles, a double, and a run scored, and an RBI. As I said, the SWAC Freshman of the Year, Aaron Grant's had a really fantastic tournament. Slow grounder, foul, first base side, 0-1. He was 2 for 5 with a run scored and an RBI against us today, or on Wednesday. Now he's 3 for 4. 2 singles, a double, a run scored, and an RBI. He puts one in the air to center field, fading toward the left field side. Darrell Lee is actually going to come in, call off Rivera, and make the catch. Finally, 1 out. The 6th batter of the inning is the first out.
Number 20, Lazaro Alvarado.
Now Lazaro Alvarado. And now, even if you get the next 2 outs here, the Wildcats, when you looked like you had 6 outs to get to continue your season, now have 6 outs the other way to save themselves, trailing 9-8, and it could get worse. First pitch, righty on lefty to Alvarado from Torres. Catches the outside corner, fastball, strike 1. Alvarado, 1 for 3 with a walk. Walked in the first, struck out in the 3rd, grounded out to second in the 5th, and had an RBI double in the 7th. Torres winds and fires, outside, 1-1. Pablo Torres is not a length guy. He's already thrown 12 pitches, probably about half of what he's good for. The 1-1 in the air, center field. Sergio Rivera moving over. He will make the catch. 2 outs. Now near is Nick Hockemeyer. Nick Hockemeyer scored not the winning run, but the game-sealing run in all, had the game-sealing RBI in all, for all seriousness, after he brought home Weston Gingrich in the top of the 9th to make it a 2-run game on Wednesday. Can he put another nail in the Wildcat coffin here? First pitch to the lefty. Ground ball, foul, third base side. That was a rare first pitch off speed from Torres, went with the slider. That ball rebounded off the face of the Wildcat dugout and rolled back into play. Eric Almonte goes over to throw it out, and we'll get back to his shortstop position. The 0-1. Gets away. Oh, actually, it hit him. It skipped to the backstop because it hit Nick Hockemeier's foot. And the 9th batter of the inning will come to the plate in the form of Zion Hamilton. Base is now loaded.
Right fielder number 22, Zion Hamilton.
Weston Gingrich goes to third, Weeder to second. And Zion Hamilton, who ended a promising first for UAPB by lining into a double play. He's lined out to Jeter Poyeto twice. He also has a double and a run scored. He's 1 for 4. First pitch to him, swing and a miss. Fastball in the dirt. 0-1. Pablo Torres, that was only his 4th hit batter of the year right there. And it loads him up with 2 outs. Pine Bluff could really turn the screws here with another hit. Outside, fastball, 1-1. Gingrich on third, Weeder on second, Hockemeyer on first. Wildcats already down 9-8. They have 1 point led 8-3. Fastball, strike at the knees from Torres, 1-2. The Wildcats will have 6 outs to try and make up the deficit, but how big will the deficit be? Right now, it's just 1. The 1-2 pitch. Line drive, center field, base hit. Sergio Rivera is going to try and prevent the second run. He didn't, because the ball got away from Lucena and rolls to the backstop. They're going to try and bring another one home. No, they don't. They stop at third. 2 runs come in. Gingrich scores, Weeder scores, double for Hamilton, and UAPB will bat around here in the 8th. And it is now 11-8.
Now the catcher number 4, Vinny Sawmell.
5 runs in the inning for UAPB. And that's going to be the end for Pablo Torres, and a big emotional moment coming here, as potentially for the final time, Coach Johnny Hernandez is going to go take the ball from Pablo Torres, a man who has ridden with him for 4 years. At one point, one of the top relief prospects in college baseball, Pablo Torres has dealt with some injuries over the last 2 years, and he's getting a handshake and a hug from everybody out there. And this is potentially the final time we'll see Pablo Torres in maroon and gold. I'm tearing up. What a tough way to go out if you're Pablo Torres. Vinny Sawmell's going to come to the plate, and he'll face the new Wildcat pitcher. I believe this is Justin Morales. Would be his first appearance in the tournament for the Team Netherlands World Baseball Classic star. The junior from Orenestad, Aruba, Justin Morales. This season, he's 2-1, 18 appearances, 1 start, 2 saves, 26 innings pitched with a 3.46 ERA. He's allowed 14 runs on 17 hits, walking 23 and striking out 23, just 10 earned runs on the year. He's allowed 3 doubles, no other extra base hits, with a batting average against of 195. He can run his fastball up in the mid to high 90s, touching 96, 97 at times, and then drop the best pitch, in my opinion, on the staff, a 79-mile-an-hour curveball that drops away in front of the plate. That best 1-2 punch on the staff. The Wildcats down by 3, 11-8 here in the 8th. 5 runs in the inning for UAPB. They've batted around. 6 hits. And runners on second and third right now. Justin Morales is done with his warm-up pitches. He went 1 inning against UAPB in the 10-6 loss earlier this year. Gave up 1 run on 1 hit, walked 2, didn't strike out anybody. That was when the Wildcat bullpen imploded in that game after a rain delay that delayed the game for a whole day. Second and third, a chance to really end it right here for Vinny Sawmill, the catcher. First pitch, righty on lefty, Morales deals. Breaking ball in the zone. Strike 1 on the inside corner. Interesting that Morales leads with the curve that time. He usually leads with the fastball and then uses the curve to get the swing and miss. The 0-1. It's hit back to the screen. That was the fastball. Up and away, 0-2. Wildcats will get a puncher's chance. Down 3, but if you're down by any more than 3, I really think it's going to be a tough ask. Second and third, 2 outs in the 8th. Already 5 runs in for the UAPB Golden Lions. Morales deals, and it's a foul ball straight back. Fastball inside corner. 0-2 again. Sawmill staying alive. All the accomplishments for Bethune-Cookman baseball this season. The most regular season wins by any BCU baseball team in history. 37 wins. Ground ball, foul, first base side. Sawmill sat on the curveball and just was a little bit out ahead of it. Wins over LSU and Florida and 2 over USF and UNF. An amazing season by any stretch of the imagination, but it really will mean nothing if the Wildcats lose here. The 0-2. Upstairs with the fastball. Helmet high and inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And it's a rough look if you lose twice to the 8 seed and get knocked out of the tournament in 3 games. Breaking ball crosses up Lucena behind the plate. It rolls behind him, and he looks like he's hurt. He collapses to the ground. It looks like he's pulled his hamstring trying to chase after that ball. Right on top of the Bethune-Cookman on deck circle to the left of home plate. Justine, our trainer, immediately ran out. Coach Hernandez is there. And maybe more agony to the end of this season for Bethune-Cookman. Michael Lucena gets up. Looks like he just tweaked it, but he immediately reached for his hamstring when he fell down. But he is up under his own power and walking back to the plate. Michael Lucena, one of the semifinalists for the Buster Posey Award. 27 runners caught stealing this year, most in the conference by a mile. 2 balls, 2 strikes now on the catcher, Vinny Sawmill. Righty on lefty, Morales, the pitch. Fouled away, straight back again. 5 runs on 6 hits already for UAPB here in the 8th. They've already batted around. This is the 10th batter of the inning. Sawmill has already singled and scored in the frame. Second and third, 2 outs. A chance to do more damage here and really kind of put the nail in the coffin. Line drive, center field, base hit. 2 runs are going to come in, and it is 13-8. 7 runs on 7 hits for UAPB here in the 8th inning. And we will see a 10th batter of the frame. Nick Hockemeyer scores from 3rd. Zion Hamilton scores from 2nd. And now it is a 5-run lead. We're going to have a pinch runner over at first for Vinny Sawmell as he walks back to the dugout. We're waiting for someone wearing a black jersey to come out and replace him over at first. And we're still waiting. But what an utter collapse for the Wildcats. They led 8-3 after 6 and have given up 10 straight runs. The pinch runner for Vinny Sawmell is going to be, I don't know who that is. No, it is Sawmell. He just went to take some of his equipment off. So he'll remain in the game after another 2 RBI single. And the inning continues. Here is Connor Gidley. 1 for 4, doubled and scored earlier in the inning. First pitch, breaking ball slips out of Morales' hands, goes all the way to the backstop. Vinny Sawmell's going to walk to second on a wild pitch. The Wildcats just can't get out of their own way right now. This is unbelievable. I said that a couple of times on Thursday in the Grambling game, but I have not seen a collapse like this from Wildcat pitching all year, even though we thought that the weakness of this team was their bullpen. This is almost beyond belief. 13-8 UAPB. 7 runs here in the 8th and counting for the Golden Lions. Outside, Morales now can't find the zone. 2-0 on Connor Gidley. Who do you bring in? All the heavy hitters have been used. Zambrano, Torres, Morales. Morales has been in, hasn't even gotten an out. .20 pitch, strike at the knees. 2-1. Of course, it's never over till the last out. That's the beauty of baseball. But the Wildcats have just been punched and punched and punched. And in the latter part of the season, breaking ball gets away. Another wild pitch. Vinny Sawmell skips to third. Single, 2 wild pitches for Sawmell now. And he's standing 90 feet away. If you look back at all the games the Wildcats have dropped down the stretch, they've been games like this. High-scoring games where neither team can do anything. There's a strike, fastball outside corner. 3-2 now on Connor Gidley. The Wildcats went from up 5 to down 5 in the blink of an eye. 3-2, ball 4, upstairs. And the inning continues. We will see an 11th batter. Sorry, a 12th batter of the inning. Here's Jose Vasquez. He doubled and scored earlier in the inning. Also reached and scored on an error in the 7th and singled up the middle in the 2nd and sack bunt in the 4th. So he is 2 for 3 with an error. Runners on the corners now, 2 down. The 2 outs came back to back in this inning. Fly ball, left field down the line, tailing foul out of play. Aaron Grant, Lazaro Alvarado both flied out. Those are the only 2 outs of the inning. Everybody else has got on base, and all but one of them have been with a hit. Correction, all but 2 of them have been with a hit. Another one almost gets to the backstop. That would have been a run. Michael Lucena with a heroic job to stick his glove up and catch that fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike on Vasquez. Morales clearly doesn't have it. Clearly. But they're going to trust him to try and get out of this inning. Summon every amount of strength he has and get out of this inning. Fly ball left field down the line, foul again. 0-2 on Vasquez. Jose Vasquez, just a freshman, has split time at DH this season with Blake Coleman, but has got the chance to play in this game and has proven his worth. Fastball outside, 2-2. Justin Morales, who's kind of like Pablo Torres, is a high voltage guy but doesn't give you much. He's now up to 18 pitches, and he still has not recorded an out. The 2-2. Punch to left field, but foul down the line. That was off the inside corner of the bat. We'll see another 2-2 pitch. This was the definition of give him an inch, they'll take a mile for UAPB in this game, the last 2 innings. The 2-2 again. Little flare into shallow right. Going back is Junior Poyeto. He makes the catch. My goodness. 7 runs, 7 hits, 1 error, and 2 left on. And the Wildcats now on life support, down by 5 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. 13-8 is our score here in Birmingham. You're listening to Bethune-Cookman University Baseball on the CatEye Radio Network. The Bethune-Cookman baseball season and athletic calendar here in 2025-26 is on life support. The Wildcats have allowed 10 straight UAPB runs, 7 of them coming in the top of the 8th. They went from up 8-3 to down 13-8. And now it's just 6 outs away from the end of one of the best seasons, regular seasons in Wildcat history. And unfortunately, we live in a college sports landscape that doesn't reward regular season success if you're not in one of the big couple of conferences. First pitch inside, hit Junior Poyeto on the elbow guard. He'll go to first with a hit by pitch. Now pitching with a 5-run lead, Brendan Hamlin, who came on in the 6th to stop the bleeding and kind of did that. Still allowed 3 runs on 3 hits with an error behind him. Vinny Sawmell, the catcher for UAPB, now is in some distress. I noticed him hobbling around the bases and even slipped and fell once. And it looks like they might have to change catchers, UAPB. So Poyeto on with a hit by pitch. That's how both of the Wildcat innings that ended up with runs started. Michael Rodriguez was hit by a pitch in the 4th. The Wildcats scored 2 runs. And Michael Rosena was hit by a pitch in the 6th, and the Wildcats eventually scored 6 runs in that frame. At that point, they took an 8-3 lead. And we're going to have a new catcher for UAPB, Vinny Sawmill is going to go out. Hopefully he is okay, favoring that right leg.
Continue to welcome you here to the oldest park in America. This is the Big Shop Museum located on the first base side of the stadium.
No, look, nope. Sawmill looks like he's going to stay in. Unless that is
It'll be available for you today.
someone else. It looks like number 4 there.
Are available on sale inside of the gift shop and museum. All proceeds from the purchases made help to benefit Rickwood Field. We thank you so very much.
Well, we were going to
for your patronage.
see if they've changed catchers. I cannot tell because the catcher's gear is obscuring the number on the back of the catcher's jersey. I'm guessing they changed catchers because Brandon Hamlin is throwing some warm-up pitches.
Now catching for the Golden Lions, freshman number 46, Owen Gibson.
Oh, Owen Gietzen is going to catch. Gietzen, the freshman, got some playing time against the Wildcats down in Daytona Beach earlier this year. And we hope Vinny Sawmill is okay. So here is Chris Watson now. First pitch, slider strike outside corner. Chris Watson, 1 for 2 with a hit by pitch. Singled and scored in the 6th, struck out looking in the 3rd, was hit by pitch in the 4th. He was the last batter that the starter Rylan Morin faced. The 0-1, line drive, right field. That is going to be caught. Full dive, throw back to first. Ball gets away. Jeter Poyeto's going to stay on first. Fantastic play by Zion Hamilton, and that's kind of how the cookie crumbles for the Wildcats. It looked like that was going to be a base hit, put runners on the corners. And Hamilton made a terrific catch. On the dive in front of him, extending the glove, and now here's Sergio Rivera, 0 for 3 today. He's in a really bad tournament. 0 for 3 today, 0 for 3 on Thursday, and 1 for 4 on Wednesday. He's only been on base twice. Not how he would have envisioned his college career coming to an end, but he's still got a little chance to make a difference here. Hamlin's first pitch, ready on ready, is a pop-up foul out of play. The winner of this game looks like it's probably going to be UAPB. He's going to come back at about 3 o'clock or whenever the second game of the day is done and take on Alabama State. Bama State was trailing Pine Bluff last night 6-2 in the 6th, and Bama State came back to win, scored 6 runs in the last 2 innings. Down low, inside to Rivera, 1-1. The game coming up after this is actually a game that is ahead of us in the tournament-wise. It's the first of the semifinals on the other side. Florida A&M can book their tickets straight to the championship game tomorrow with a win. The 1-1. Southern, who beat Texas Southern late last night, will look to bounce back and force the if necessary game they've already lost to FAMU big time in this tournament. Looks like FAMU is going to have the run of things, and then of course this afternoon Alabama State will have a chance to punch their ticket to the championship game if they beat, provisionally at the moment, UAPB. Rivera swinging a miss, strike 2, fastball up and in. Count now 2-2 on Surge. This could be his final AB wearing the maroon and gold. He sealed the win yesterday with a tremendous diving catch in center field, Sergio Rivera. He's still found ways to contribute to this team even though his bat's been cold. Swing and a miss, strike 3, fastball away. 2 outs in the 8th. And Darrell Lee coming to the plate. He's 0 for 3, reached on an error and scored back in the 6th, also stole a base.
Left fielder number 1, Darrell Lee.
Wildcats sleepwalking their way back to Daytona Beach, it looks like right now. Down by 5 here in the 8th, 13-8, 2 outs. Jeter Poyeto on first. He led off, got hit by a pitch, and the Wildcats couldn't do anything behind him. Chris Watson looked like he'd had a single to right field, but Zion Hamilton with a tremendous diving catch. Really a reverse of what Sergio Rivera did to Grambling yesterday. Just killed all the momentum of the inning. Then Sergio Rivera struck out. He's only been on base twice this entire tournament, Rivera. Lee pops it up, foul territory. He's now in a 1-1 count. "18 seniors on this Wildcats squad. And we're going to miss them all. 1 ball, 1 strike. Go back to first. Boyedo is back there. Darrell Lee, Pablo Torres, Christopher Watson, Frank Perez, Jesus Venegas, and Armani Newton are both seniors. They celebrated senior day, but they're both redshirting, so they could have some eligibility left. A 1-1. Outside with a changeup, 2-1. Then you got Edwin Sanchez, whose career didn't end how he would have wanted it to, with a rough game on Wednesday. Sergio Rivera, who just struck out for his potential last AB of his career. High fly ball right field from Darrell Lee. That's going to be in the yard. Coming in and making the catch is Hamilton. And that's the end of the 8th. A hit by pitch, but nothing else, as the Wildcats will have 3 outs to save themselves in the 9th, down 13-8 here on the CatEye Radio Network. Top 9 in Birmingham. Top of the order for UAPB. Weston Gingrich is going to start the 6th time through the order for UAPB. They've gone through the order 3 times in the last 3 innings. Brian Rincones is on the mound for the Wildcats to try and get the last 3 outs potentially of the season. They're down by 5. 13-8 in this elimination game. First pitch is a ball outside, pops out of the glove of Michael Lucena. Brian Rincones has a 7.27 ERA, 2-2, 13 appearances, 17 and a third innings pitched. He's allowed 15 runs on 20 hits, 14 earned. Striking out 17 and walking 11, and that's a high pop in foul territory behind the plate, and it's going to hit the roof. Michael Lucena runs out of room, and it's a 1-1 count. He's giving up a .318 batting average. Rincones hit 3 batters, hasn't thrown a wild pitch. Through 1 inning the last week of the season against, the last game of the season rather, against Grambling. No runs, no hits. Walked 1. A 1-1. Outside on a check swing. 2 balls, 1 strike. It has been the tale of bullpen collapse in the late season for the Wildcats, and especially here this weekend. They only barely survived Grambling yesterday after giving up 4 in the 8th. And after having a 5-run lead after 6 today, as that's a fly ball right over the third base bag. Andre Martinez 3 steps into foul territory, puts it away for out number 1.
Third baseman, number 7, Zach Weeder.
3 in the 7th, 7 in the 8th for UAPB. And the Wildcats will have their final 3 outs here in the bottom of the 9th. We got to get there first. Here's Zach Weeder. 2 for 5, 2 runs scored, 2 RBI. Both singles. 1 to left center, 1 on the infield to the shortstop in this contest. Also picked up an RBI sac fly back in the 7th. Count is 0-1 after a foul ball. Here's the pitch. And you got to start thinking about the what ifs. There's always what ifs. You have the best regular season in program history, then you only win 1 game at the tournament. Pitch to Weeder, the left-hander. Outside corner ball. Counts 2-1 now on Weeder. And you gotta look at this kind of like you looked at men's basketball, right? Regular season champions. 2-1 pitch from Rincones. Swing and a miss ahead of the off speed on the outside corner. Weeder now in a 2-2 count. But men's basketball, right? Regular season champions. Everybody's picking you to win the conference tournament, and then you lose to the 8th seed and go home. Eerily similar parallels off the end of the bat. Off speed outside foul ball, 2-2. Eerily similar parallels to what's happened here this week. Number 1 seed. Best team in the regular season by a mile. 23-7 in the SWAC conference. High pop, third base side out of play. Weeder stays alive, 2-2. And then you lose twice to the 8th seed. And you're on the bus back home. 1 out, top 9. Here's the 2-2 once again to Weeder from Brian Rincones. And he got him to fly it to left field. Darrell Lee's going to track that one down and make the catch for out number 2. Wildcats need 1 more out. Here's Aaron Grant. He's been unbelievable today.
42, Aaron Grant.
3 for 5, single, double, run scored, RBI. Although he was one of the guys that got out in the 8th inning and not one of the guys that came up twice, so he flew out to left field. In the air, center field, Sergio Rivera's going to lazily walk over and make that catch, and the Wildcats are down to their last 3 outs here in the regular season. 1, 2, 3, or in the 2026 season, I should say. 1, 2, 3 go the Golden Lions. We'll have the bottom of the 9th and your post-game wrap-up here for you next on the CatEye Radio Network. We go to the bottom of the ninth, and here is potentially the final at-bat for Andre Martinez, who has wowed us over the last 2 years with his tremendous power bat and his infectious charm off the field. He leads us off here in the ninth. The Wildcats are down 13-8 against UAPB. First pitch, low ball one for Brennan Hamlin, who, to be fair, has done a really good job. 37 pitches before this inning. 3 runs, 3 hits, no walks, 1 strikeout. None of those runs were earned. He has shut down the Wildcats ever since their 6-run sixth. They've gotten 1 base runner. That was a hit by pitch. And the Wildcats have just, once again, Martinez ground ball to third. Sliding stop by Weeder. The throw across is in time. 1 out. Andre Martinez throws his glove to the ground in disgust, gives Hunter Allen a fist bump, and walks back to the dugout. Michael Rodriguez, what a special season it's been for him. A .417 batting average, the best on-base percentage in anybody in Division I, .573. He's been on base 3 out of 4 times today, 2 singles and a hit by pitch. He's also been caught stealing once. First pitch, fastball away, ball 1 to the lefty. Michael Rodriguez was not expecting to play much this season. But then after the injury to right fielder Armani Newton, he got a shot, and he has ran with his shot all the way to an all-SWAC first-team nod, fastball low, ball 2. And one of the better performers at the plate in the country. Everybody just scared to see Michael Rodriguez come to the plate. The 2-0. Inside, almost hit him. It did hit him. Got him on the elbow guard, so a hit by pitch. Wildcats have taken 4 hit by pitches, correction, 5 hit by pitches in the game today. But it hasn't been enough. I mentioned it in brief, but the timely hitting just hasn't been there in the last back third. You know how much Coach Hernandez preaches the back third. No runs in this tournament in the 7th, 8th, or 9th innings. None. And really, they've just had 1 big inning. They scored all 4 runs on Wednesday in the 5th. They scored 6 of their 8 runs today in the 6th. They scored 5 of their 7 yesterday, or Thursday rather, in the 3rd. Just not enough consistent pressure at the plate. Here's Michael Lucena. He's up a ball and no strikes. Tough tournament at the plate for Lucena. Watches another one up and in. Lucena 0 for 3, hit by a pitch and scored back in the 6th. He only has 1 hit in this whole tournament. He's only been on base twice. But behind the plate, he's been spectacular. One of the best defensive catchers in the country. A semifinalist for the Buster Posey Award. He has 27 base stealers caught stealing this year. A high water mark in the SWAC. And I'm sure one of the high water marks in Division I baseball. There's a slider strike right over the heart of the plate. Although the NCAA stats website does not track that. What an amazing season it's been for Michael Lucena, who's not only played catcher, he's also DH'd at times. He's also played middle infield at times, as more of a utility type guy. He pops it up, foul behind the plate, 2-2. The Wildcats trail Arkansas Pine Bluff 13-8. They've allowed 17 UAPB hits for potentially the final time this season. Derek Cartaya calls timeout. He'll walk over, put a hand on Michael Lucena's shoulder. 2-2 count now with Brandon Hamlin pitching. It is important for UAPB to have Brendan Hamlin finish this game and not have to potentially burn another arm, because they're going to have to come back later this afternoon and play another elimination game and try and force a winner, if necessary, game tomorrow morning against Alabama State. Same thing that Southern's going to try to do to Florida A&M the game after this one. The 2-ball, 2-strike count. Fouled away. It was a fastball at the knees. But what a year it's been for Bethune-Cookman Athletics. Not just baseball breaking their regular season wins record and having a ton of national attention. You go all the way back. Volleyball was the top 2 seed. Some injuries derailed their season right down at the end. Football, of course, winning 6 games for the first time this decade. Lucena fouls it away again. Still 2-2. And won a dramatic game against Florida A&M at the Florida Classic to break the Rattlers' winning streak in that game. Then we went to men's basketball. Wow, I can't leave fall sports without talking about cross country. SWAC champions in cross country. And with Victor Kibet and Andrew Kiplagat putting together one of the best academic years of maybe any Bethune-Cookman athlete of all time, especially Kiplagat. Foul back to the screen again. Lucena stays alive. Then you move to the winter sports. Women's basketball was down this year. We saw them make a coaching change at the end of the season, but the future is bright there with Coach Michi now on campus, a Bethune-Cookman alum, Bethune-Cookman legend, now taking over the program. Men's basketball was excellent in the regular season. They were the regular season champions in the SWAC. The 2-2 popped up, shallow right. Coming in is Hamilton. Waves his hand up in the air, makes the catch, and the Wildcats are down to their last out. Zion Hamilton has made 3 of the last 4 outs. One of them a tremendous diving play in the 8th. That really was the Wildcats' last chance. And it's fitting that the last AB potentially comes down to the SWAC Player of the Year, Jose Fernandez, the junior out of Venezuela, who was so shocked to learn that he had won the award on Tuesday night. What a season for Jose. 358 his average, 12 home runs, second on the team, 58 hits, 52 RBI, second on the team behind only Jeter Poyetto, and he actually tied him today. First pitch, fouled straight back on a breaking ball. Then you go to the spring sports. It was a tough year for softball, but they still made the tournament. They still finished 3rd, had a chance to finish 2nd in the East in the regular season. And a team, you talk about this team with 18 seniors on it. The Wildcats softball team had 17 freshmen on it and will be a force in the SWAC for years to come. Runner goes, strike called at the knees. Stolen base for Michael Rodriguez. He gets the 2nd, and the Wildcats are down to their last strike here in the 2026 season. Brennan Hamlin looking for the save. Fastball upstairs, ball 1. A banner year for Bethune-Cookman sports. It feels like a year where the Wildcats really got up off the mat and are competitive in everything here in the SWAC. High fly ball, right center field. Tracing back is Hamilton. He makes the catch. 1 step shy of the track. And that is the end of Bethune-Cookman's baseball season. The Wildcat bullpen collapses again. And the offense, once again, sporadic, not clutch enough. The Wildcats scored no runs in the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning of any of the 3 games in this tournament, and they will go home. This is the first time in 4 years Bethune-Cookman has failed to even make the semifinals of the SWAC baseball tournament, as Logan Stout and Coach Hernandez shake hands at the plate. Is this the last time we will see a Coach Johnny Hernandez coached Bethune-Cookman Wildcat baseball team? Unfortunately, the Wildcats season ends with a whimper. They end at 38-20, 2 wins shy of Coach Hernandez's ultimate goal of a 40-win season. They never got there. There are tears flowing now from everyone. Andre Martinez with tears in the dugout. Jose Fernandez being consoled by head assistant coach Hunter Allen after flying out to end the game. A big hug between those two. UAPB continues at 25-32. They will play later this afternoon against Alabama State to try and force a replay tomorrow morning. And coming up next here in Birmingham, it's Southern against Florida A&M. Florida A&M can punch their ticket right straight through to the finals with a win today. Your final line score on this one, UAPB just pounded the ball. 13 runs on 17 hits. They committed 1 error and left 8 on base. Bethune-Cookman didn't do enough. 8 runs on 10 hits, committed 2 errors, and left 6 on base. I'm trying to figure out who the winning pitcher is. I think it's Hamlin. It is Hamlin. Brandon Hamlin gets the win. He pitches the last 3 innings and pitches them very well, allows 3 runs, but all of those runs were unearned. And then once he got control in the 7th, only allowed 2 base runners. They were both on hit by pitches, didn't allow a hit. The loss is going to go to J.C. Zambrano, I believe. No, Pablo Torres is going to pick up the loss. So Hamlin's record improves to 5-3. Pablo Torres, in his final appearance as a Wildcats, takes the loss. His record on this season is now 2-3. There was no save this game. Time of your ball game, 3 hours and 25 minutes. As the Wildcats season comes to an end here in Birmingham. Pablo Torres ends his Wildcat career 8-6, 59 appearances, 11 saves. It just wasn't enough today. The bullpen collapsed again. The offense didn't have enough. And we say goodbye to 18 seniors on this Wildcat team. I'm going to name them all off because they all deserve it. Darrell Lee, what a spark plug he's been the last 2 years. Pablo Torres, I just talked about him, a tremendous servant to this program. It is very rare, as Coach Hernandez said after the last game of the regular season, to have someone stick with a program for 4 years like he did. Chris Watson, what a season for him. Just didn't happen in the tournament, but batted almost 400 this year. Frank Perez didn't play much, up and down with injuries, but he, off the field, a shining light, always a smile, always a kind word, always there to fire the guys up. Jesus Venegas and Armani Newton, both are taking red shirts this year, so they'll have eligibility left if they choose to use it. Edwin Sanchez tied the Wildcat record for wins by a starting pitcher in the regular season with 11. I'm sure that he will want Wednesday back, and he will replay that over and over in his mind for a long time. Sergio Rivera, another tremendous servant to this program. Just didn't happen for him offensively, but defensively carried the team. He was the beating heart and soul of this squad for the last 3 years, Sergio Rivera. Logan Wirt didn't pitch much out of the bullpen. He's a senior. Eric Almonte, the transfer from UCF. Once they swapped, he started at second base and Judah Poyeto at short. Once they swapped, they made a tremendous partnership this year, turning over 30 double plays. Tanner Bocabello, who started today, started a little rough, gave up a run in the first, but then settled down. Gave you 6 full innings. Kind of collapsed there at the end and really started the pitching staff meltdown at the end, but he gave you a chance to win it, and he was in line for the win before the comeback. Jorge Rodriguez, I'm sure not the season he would have wanted, but the Wildcats' strongest bat last year, led the team in average in the championship winning season. He came off the bench mostly this year after being replaced after a tough year offensively. Andre Martinez, what more to say? He ends his college career with 56 home runs. He ends his Wildcat career with 35 home runs in 2 seasons. The senior out of Barranquilla, Colombia, will be remembered forever by those who watched him play. Giancarlo Zambrano, the best arm out of the bullpen, the best moment of his career. He came in, no outs in the 8th inning against LSU, bases loaded, got 3 strikeouts, picked up the win against the Tigers at Alex Box Stadium. He'll remember that forever. Gabriel Moore, a midweek starter, a transfer from West Florida. Julian Carrasquilla, a senior that's been with this program for 3 years out of the bullpen. Anthony Anselmo, what a year he had. The knuckle-down performance against USF, 90-plus pitches to get the Wildcats the win in that game. That was the start of their 3 straight ranked wins over 3 midweek games. Dawson Turner, another one of your midweek starters, is the final senior I have to talk about. Turner pretty much got 2 innings at the front of most of the late season midweek contests, but he came in and got the job done. He started against Florida, kept the Wildcats in the game. Started against USF, kept the Wildcats in the game, and gave them a chance to win those massive contests. And you can't talk about this team without talking about the coaching staff. Coach Hernandez talks about it every time I talk to him, on air, off air, it doesn't matter. This coaching staff has taken Bethune-Cookman baseball from 4 guys throwing soft toss in a field in 2020 over COVID to back-to-back regular season championships, a tournament championship last year, back to the regionals for the first time since 2017. Hunter Allen, Joel Sanchez, Derek Cartaya have been with this squad the last 2 years. Joel Sanchez, the pitching coach, has been with Coach Hernandez since the beginning. They added former player Peter Vasquez as a graduate assistant coach this year, and Johnny Hernandez, there's not much more to say that has already been said. What a wonderful job he's done with this program. And if this is the last time he walks off the field wearing the maroon and gold, he should have no regrets about what he has done in Daytona Beach. That'll be our last CatEye Network broadcast of the season. We got to thank everybody that makes these broadcasts possible, from the staff at BCU, the higher-ups that make it possible for us to tell the stories of everybody that wears the maroon and gold. Athletic directors, George Bright, Scott Summer, Reggie Theus, that put us in a position to do what we do. I got to thank all of our CatEye students that have helped us out all year long, whether that's doing social content or being on air, helping with the broadcast, running sound, running cameras, directing, even being on color. I got to shout out Lee Gillum, who was our director for most of the year, KC as well. Thank you for all you've done for the CatEye Network. Sabrina Petit-Home, my basketball co-commentator and friend throughout, thank you so much. Also, everybody that has helped out with the CatEye Network at home and on the road. We could not do it without you. And finally, to the best media team in the SWAC, and it's not close. I don't care how many trophies we get. Bryce Hoynoski, Jade Barquette, Kelvin, Brant Hoynoski, everybody in this offense is a joy to work with every day and makes covering these teams special. And finally, to all of you on the CatEye Radio Network, listening from wherever you are, whether you've just followed us this weekend because you bought into the hype, whether you're just a baseball fan or a family of one of the baseball players, or whether you're one of the diehards that listens to all 110 plus broadcasts we do every year. Thank you so much. You are the reason that we do this, to bring Wildcat Athletics to you wherever you are. It's summertime now. Go and enjoy your vacations. Go and enjoy your time away. I know I will, and the rest of our staff will. And we'll be back in August to bring you all things Bethune-Cookman Athletics. Volleyball and football and cross country, you're now on the clock. We'll see you in a couple months. My name is Michael Torello. Thank you so much for listening all season long, and we will see you next time. As always, and every day, hail Wildcats.